Guys, you know how much I love it when you rate and review Sexpert on the iTunes store. And I have a new review to read for you all today. It's from Night Owl 19689, who gave us a 5-star review and said, I subscribed to this podcast expecting a clinical advice column style show, which would have been fine. What I got instead was a light-hearted but informative roundtable discussion with the right mix of organization and free-form fun. Nice start. Keep it coming. Thanks, Night Owl 19689. If you want your review read live on the podcast, leave it in the iTunes App Store today. Stay sexy and enjoy the show.
You're listening to Sexpert with me, Renee, where we say words like piece of shit, motherfucker, cocksucker, cunt. We get so dirty that even your mother's soap bar can't clean our mouths. You've been warned.
Welcome to Sexpert with Mia Renee, where we talk everything sex. Get ready for awkward topics, inappropriate jokes, foul language, and a little bit of education. We are no doctors, just young adults looking to inform our generation about sex so they can live healthier, naughtier lives. I'm Mia Renee, your host. Are you ready? Hi guys, welcome to Sexpert with Mia Renee, where we teach our generation how to lead healthier and naughtier lives. I'm Mia Renee, your host, and this is episode 10. I can't believe we have gone 10 episodes so far into Sexpert. Tonight, Madison is joining me. How are you, Madison?
I'm fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm good. What have you been up to?
You know, working.
Yeah,
just
working
constantly
your ass
working.
off. Now, do you work 2 different jobs?
Yeah, I work
at the
over
restaurant.
at Woodward's,
Yeah.
and then at the Lake Junaluska.
Oh, what do you do there?
I help with my the property rentals over there.
Oh, that's more of like a businessy thing to go along with your degree. Okay, that's really neat. I like that. And today, Madison is going to be helping to host the episode. She's taken more of a kind of like a hosting position, but she's pretty much planned this whole episode. Tonight, we're talking about kinks and being kinky, and I'm excited. Are you?
What's more fun than that?
Yeah, what's
right?
more fun than kinks? And Mason couldn't join us because he's currently at a live showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show. So
I am so jealous.
he texted me and he was like, make sure to talk shit about me because I'm not going to be on the episode. But I can't because it's a kink episode and I'm like, you're going to see Rocky Horror. How can I?
Yeah.
Like, that's perfect. And on Twitter, I did run a poll because, that's kind of my thing. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, it's at Mia Renee Cole. Also, we're on Facebook at facebook.com/sexpert with Mia Renee. And you can find Madison and I on Twitter and Instagram. I'm also, like, everywhere else on the social media sphere, Snapchat, LinkedIn.
Come stalk us.
Yeah, pretty much. All of our links are in the show notes. But I ran a Twitter poll that said this week's episode, I can't talk again in this week's episode. This week's episode of Sexpert is about kinks. What is your favorite kink? And 11% of people said bondage. All right. 22% of people said spanking/hitting. 23% of people, so just 1% more than the spanking people, said daddy mommy. And then
I like all those.
Yeah. And then my personal favorite was what 44% of people voted as choking.
Oh,
So
yes.
choking's it. Can we talk about these for a second? Like,
I don't know how you can go wrong with any of them.
I put 4 of them just as they're kind of just well known. Like, the first one's like, I think of plus Twitter only lets you put 4 poll options down anyway. So can we just talk about these for a second, just personally, so that the audience can get to know us and our kinks a little bit better?
Well, I think I've tried all of those, and I think I enjoy all of them. Maybe even all in the same session, I don't know.
All in the same session.
Like
Session.
an appointment or
Let's
something
see.
like that.
Some of these, though, like, come with their stigmas, right? And I kind of, you know me, I'm always trying to debunk stigmas. So, like, for instance, like, personally, I love being choked, right?
Right.
I love it. Any guys that are listening right now are probably just like boing, but
Try and keep it cool.
but yeah, right. But I'm like a proclaimed like feminist and stuff. So like a lot of people say, well, choking's anti-feminist because you're letting a man like devalue you.
But you can also use it the other way around too. I mean, it can be used both ways. Plus, like, you can't, if you want to take it and push it that way, you can do anything like that.
Yeah,
It's not like
and it's
that's the
like if I'm
only.
letting him do it, I'm not letting him devalue me. I want him to do
Right.
it. Dear God, please do it.
Please.
Please, I'm begging you. The same goes for stuff like spanking, hitting, bondage. Now, what about daddy, mommy? Like, I'm assuming you're more of a daddy girl.
Oh, yeah.
I am
Yeah.
too. Now, like, for the longest time, I personally was kind of against the daddy thing. Like, I just
Same thing.
didn't understand it. I was like, why would you ever, like, sexualize that? And then I had sex with a certain person. And I just knew. I knew. So, like, when and how
It's
did you know?
and it's not even, it's almost, it goes along with all of the rest of them for me. It's like the dominant thing. I don't, it's just, it feels right. You get in a moment and you're like, yes, that's what I need to say.
Yes, right. It's that particular moment.
And before that, I was like, why would you ever even do something? Why would you say something
It's
like that? That's so
all
weird.
it's all just depends on what position you're in, where their hands are, and exactly how aggressive they're being. Now, some people are more like I recently saw like recently as in like 5 hours ago, saw a video on Facebook of a woman, 22 years old, I believe, who is a sexual abuse survivor, but has this mentality that so that she acts like a baby. She literally wears diapers and sleeps in a crib and acts like a baby because it comforts her. And she
Okay.
has a 25-year-old boyfriend who's her quote unquote daddy, but less in a sexual sense and more of a changing her diaper sense.
Now, see, that seems to me more like a psychological
Yeah, we
trauma
have our
from
psychology minor here, Madison.
an abusive standpoint.
Yeah.
Everyone has takes away their own trauma from something like that, and that could just be her mental response to that, less of a, sexual
Yeah,
thing,
and
more of a.
that's what I believe as well, and I feel like that's definitely more of an extreme. But then you have like the middle ground of like calling him daddy while having sex, but not necessarily in an aggressive manner, but more in a comfort manner. You definitely still see that middle ground.
Okay,
I
yeah.
I personally only use it in an aggressive manner
Yeah,
because I'm
that's
an aggressive person.
what's better
But
than
right.
rough.
I like it rough.
It's
What can
okay,
I say?
same.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I'm Mia and I like it rough.
Gentle every now and then, mainly
Yeah,
rough.
gentle like once a month, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. More than that, but I generally like it rough. But speaking of kinks, you have this really cool Sex Today article that you were going to share with us.
Yes, and it kind of goes along with our Twitter poll.
Yeah.
So actually, Britain, blah, I can't talk either. It's called the Great British Sex Survey,
Oh, I
and
love
it
it.
reveals the UK's favorite fetishes. And it doesn't actually tell you what the top number is.
Yeah.
You have to watch this video or watch the
Oh.
show that comes
Okay.
on in the UK. However, this was from February of this year, and it came out that Tuesday or Thursday at 10 p.m. So if you want, you can go to the website. The link will be in the article, and watch the video. But basically, they took a survey and said that one of the things that they do reveal in this little excerpt is that the most popular fetishes and the kinkiest place in the UK is Wales, is the
All
most
right.
adventurous, whenever it came to threesomes, and then closely followed by England, Scotland, and Northern
I
Ireland.
feel like the UK is just fucking kinky in the first place. I mean, the UK produced Russell Brand.
But Wales?
Like,
Why?
who knows? It's the same as, like, Texas having, like, the highest rate of, like, fucking masturbation or something. But it's alright. I'll believe it. The woman that wrote 50 Shades of Grey is British.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
British people are kinky as hell. Europeans are kinky as hell. Americans need to embrace their kinky.
Oh, yes, they do. I think that, America is just a secret, like, in the closet kink.
Pretty much. That's why Texas is trying to ban dildos.
Oh my gosh, what?
No, I don't think that's true. I think I just kind of heard that somewhere in the grapevine, but
Internet spam.
guess what? I just got really good news. So Big Chocolate just texted me. And for those of you who don't know, Big Chocolate is my father. But we'll call him Big Chocolate on this show because that's what everyone calls him. And I know he doesn't listen to the show, but I know he wouldn't want his name on this show. The water is fixed.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went on a total tangent, but I just got off vacation and got home and our water wasn't. And we live in the country, so it's well water, so it's not like city water.
And of course, as soon as you get back from vacation, you have to shower. Like,
And,
that's
like-
immediately what you want to do.
And I just responded, cool. I couldn't be more appreciative. Yeah, and I have laundry to do and I haven't had a shower. I just got back from the beach, too, so it's like shit sand. I have just sand everywhere.
Oh my
I don't
gosh,
even
the
want to
sand
think
that
about
cakes in your
where I
suitcase.
have sand on my body. And I have showered since leaving the beach, and I probably still have sand on me. But, back to the article. That was a complete tangent, but I wanted everyone to know that I have water at my house.
Thank you, well water god,
I don't know.
for the
It
well
only
water.
took 2.5 hours, but
So anyway, if you want to see it, just go to the link. It's the
Right.
Huffington Post article that's in there, and the popular ones, which they will reveal on the TV show, the order that they rank in. They include body fetishes, threesomes, sex toys, water sports.
water sports, isn't that slang for peeing?
What?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I've never heard of that one. Humiliation, cross-dressing, material fetishism, BDSM,
All right. Sexy
sexy
selfies.
selfies,
I'm reading along with you.
and uniforms, which I can go for that.
Uniforms. Nice. So I just looked up water sports on Urban Dictionary, and it says, in BDSM, terminology refers to sensual or erotic play involving bodily fluids, typically urine, saliva, and less commonly, blood. Considered edge play because it is obviously somewhat unhygienic.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know about pee.
Yeah, not sure about pee. I think
I mean, if
I'm
it whatever
right there
floats
with
your
ya.
boat, but
Literally.
unless it's pee.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't, right? But that was a really cool article, and I liked it. Because the UK is kinky as hell. Some
now we
kink
know.
shit up for you.
Wales is crazy.
Yeah. That's great. How many of those have you done? Or have had? Because, fetishes are something that you have.
Let's see. 1, 2, 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think only 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've done...
I don't really get the humiliation thing or cross-dressing, but that's just me.
Let's see. No fetishes, I don't think. Let's see. I don't really have fetishes, honestly.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as bodily,
Yeah, I don't...
some people have foot fetish.
Yeah, I don't have a body fetish. If any fetish, really. I just really like to be choked. Sex toys, yes. Haven't had a threesome.
Yes.
On the
No,
list.
I haven't either, but
it's on the
they're
list. Yeah. No to water sports. No as in haven't done humiliation, but no. to water
No.
sports.
No.
Haven't cross-dressed, don't think I'd be
No.
into it. Material fetishism, no.
Like, define that. What is...
I guess it's just being turned on by a specific object. An oblong shaped. I don't know. I haven't experienced it. BDSM, light,
Yeah,
BDSM.
light,
Sexy
light.
selfies, okay, nudes, right? We have,
Yeah.
that's episode 3, nudes.
Who doesn't do that?
Who doesn't do sexy selfies? Okay, I take one every morning. But yeah, that's cool. And that's like pretty standard kinks,
Yeah,
too.
those are standard.
Pretty standard, nothing too out there. Except the water sports.
I had never even heard of that.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I heard of it towards the end of today's episode, where we're going to talk about a certain app. But there was some stuff you were reading where you saw like kink terminology that you hadn't heard of before,
Yes.
and you wanted to
one
define
of,
that for us.
The articles that I was reading for in preparation for this, which is the DSM-5. It's the article's titled "We're Kinky, Not Crazy," and the DSM-5 is what they use to really figure out, you know,
Diagnose
what kind of
mental
psychological
disorders.
Yeah. In order to characterize basically what psychologists use to
And there's like a
figure out
whole
what's wrong.
process of figuring out what is a psychological disorder to put in the book. So the DSM-5 is the 5th edition.
Exactly.
Since, I don't know when the first one was published, but I'm assuming the early 40s or 50s.
Oh, yeah, some way long time ago.
Yeah.
And a lot has changed since then. But there was some terminology in there that I had no idea what, I had never heard of them. And once I heard the definition, I was like, yeah, I know what that is. But like, one of them was sadism, which I had heard out of context, or in context, I guess, but never really knew what the true definition is. And it's the tendency to derive pleasure by inflicting pain or suffering, or humiliation, apparently, on others.
I think the only reason I know that is from reading 50 Shades of Grey.
And I think that's where I heard it, but I was like, I don't know the technical
Because there's like
definition of that.
multiple times where Anastasia calls Christian a sadist when she gets mad at him.
Yes.
You hear the term sadist
Yes.
more often than, what was it, sadism?
Or in close relation to that is sexual masochism, which used to be what they said was the disorder in which you're aroused by, you know, having pain inflicted on you.
So sadism is inflicting the pain and getting turned on by that, whereas masochism is having the pain inflicted on you.
Yes.
Okay, and getting turned on by that. And so was sadism ever in the DSM?
It doesn't, let me look at the article.
Masochism obviously was.
Yes. It was,
But I guess sadism would be. They're very parallel.
yes, they have a term for it now that it's different. It replaces it, and it basically, what this article talks about is how it takes what used to be considered a psychological disorder, as far as, you know, kinks that people had, and said, no, that's not really a disorder now, unless you feel harmed or you are harming others because of it.
Like harming
against their
others
will.
without their consent.
Yeah. And this article, and at first I was reading it, and it was really very entertaining, because I was like, yeah, they're finally, you know, we're
It's a very
advancing in the
interesting
world.
article.
And then you get later on, and it tells about how this is in close relationship to how they used to characterize homosexuality in the DSM. In 1973, it says.
Yeah.
It was removed, but it used to be in the DSM before that. So it's kind of, they tell that it's not as, quite as degrading as the homosexuality was, because obviously, people with kinks aren't being, as oppressed, I guess.
And that and having kinks isn't like you don't have a partner and then it's like obvious that you two are kinky. Or in a way,
Right.
it's not as out there. It's more of a private thing.
But they do talk about how people have felt like job discrimination because of it, and have just been personally almost bashed. Like people would email them harassing them about, some of the things that they is a personal aspect of them. So they're wanting, what this article essentially is wanting, is to have it completely removed from the DSM at all. And that, if somebody's feeling hurt or any kind of mental distress because of this, they can go to a psychologist and be like, they can treat them for, depression or something other than, what it would be considered.
Right. And my favorite little like quote in the article, I highlighted it here, is I'll just read the whole sentence. People who are stigmatized and misunderstood, such as sexual minorities, might be unhappy. But the unhappiness itself is the problem that should be treated, not the person's sexual identity or practice. And I thought that was really good, because for those of you that aren't familiar with the DSM, point blank, it's just an extremely influential book. I mean, like, pretty much the only reason people believe that homosexuality is a mental disorder is because it's what the DSM literally said for probably 30 to 40 years. It didn't take it out until 87. It didn't take homosexuality out as a psychological disorder until 1987. So a lot of people, especially like, the older generation, they go off, they were taught in school in their Psych 101 classes at university that homosexuality was considered at their time a mental disorder. And we still see some like questioning about what's listed in the DSM now about certain disorders and like if they should be like reworded or refigured out or stuff like that. And I think, kinks or paraphilia is the like the official term. We see that paraphilia is kind of questioned, obviously, especially within this article, because as long as you're not affecting anyone else or you don't have a personal like drive to change, you're fine. Unless it's inflicting you or someone else, you're fine.
Right, and if it is like, legal standing is fine, as long as everything is legally fine. And you're still personally feeling the pain, like they said, then that sadness or depression or unhappiness should be treated on its own. And I didn't even realize that I agreed with this article until I finished it. It was very interesting of a read, and I highly recommend that you guys go to the comments, the links below, and just read it. It's the Slate one, and I love Slate magazine.
Yeah, I
They're
do
great.
too. I do too. And I'm actually looking up right now. It looks like the original DSM was published in psychology really started being recognized as a scientific practice. So DSM-1 was 52. And DSM stands for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So, it's basically...
I mean, this is how they diagnose people.
This is the guide for psychiatrists and psychologists and diagnosing mental disorders. It basically, it says this is a disorder, and does it say why? I know there's something the DSM doesn't do, like specifically, does it list symptoms? I think it does. Like it gives the symptoms, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't tell you how to fix them. I think that's what it is. It doesn't tell you what to do.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But it's basically like it's the go-to. So that's why it's very important. And DSM-5 was published in the last couple of years, I do believe.
Yeah, I think this article is actually kind of old.
2013 was DSM-5.
Yep. and this was published in 2013.
Right.
So, I mean, it's still relevant today. They still use the DSM-5. They haven't brought out a new one yet. So this is still controversy, still in question.
Yeah.
And who knew that this could be a controversy?
Yeah, like what you do behind closed doors consensually is apparently a problem.
Public knowledge.
Yeah, apparently. As it always is, but we're making it public knowledge in a good way, right? Like, we are
Right,
informing people.
and whenever we talk about it, you know, you think, oh my gosh, like, what are you trying to do to yourself? Like, that's gonna hurt, ow. But, like, you play it later on in the article, they talk about how it's not any riskier than skiing or football or ballet or anything that you do on a daily basis.
Speaking of hurting, what's like your favorite way to have pain inflicted on you?
My absolute favorite.
You can rank them.
My favorite is definitely just being bent over the knee, spanking.
Beautiful.
Oh, makes me want to cry. I definitely love the whole bondage thing.
Yeah, like so
Blindfolded.
tight that it hurts, yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you?
Probably like more sensual, like hot wax.
I've never done that.
Like stuff that like it hurts but it feels good. Stuff you would normally think would just hurt. Compared to like spanking, which is more, it can be done more lightly compared to like hot wax being poured on you. I like a lot of temperature stuff, like hot wax and ice and stuff like that.
Oh, well.
But I do like choking can hurt a little bit, especially when it leaves bruises, and I bruise so damn easily. But I also I love
You gotta
spanking.
have safe words.
I love spanking. Hallelujah, amen to spanking. So did you have any other like kink words that you didn't know beforehand?
I didn't realize that transvestite, dressing up as a transvestite, was considered one, but it's called transvestism.
Okay, yeah, I think I totally get that because like there's a difference between being transgender and transvestism.
Well, I mean, just like, you know, if you guys
Yeah.
haven't seen Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Yeah.
go watch it.
Which Mason is going to see like right now. So
They
yeah.
have, I mean, they have a whole song dedicated to
I'm just a
transvestite.
sweet transvestite. They're like stuck in my head now. But yeah, like transvestism is more like you definitely get a sexual, it's not just dressing up, it's a sexual pleasure, but it's different from being transgender.
Right.
Because
You can
that's
be a
an
transvestite
identity.
and not
That's
be a
not
transgender.
that's not a this turns me on. That's a this is how I feel. Right?
Right.
Transvestism is more of a sexual like shabam. This is what
Right.
gets me going.
But I just thought that was interesting because
I
I didn't
like
realize
that.
there was a term for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because usually I just think of sweet transvestite from Transylvania.
From Transylvania.
Yeah. And then looks like you have like fetishism.
Yes.
Okay.
But I kind of already knew that, and I feel like that was kind of already, that one's a little obvious,
But the
but
definition you have, it makes it more broad because usually when we think about a fetish, we think of like a bodily fetish. So like feet, ear, fingers, whatever else, hair, I don't know.
I know a lot of people with hands,
Oh yeah, hands. Yes, hands, ankles,
backs,
backs. What else? Am I missing anything?
pretty much anything. I think anything can be used.
Mouths. Yeah, I'm thinking of like the norms maybe, but the definition you have here is sexual attraction to objects, situations, or body parts not traditionally viewed as sexual.
Right, so you
So-
can use anything.
Yeah, so it's not just body parts. It can even be like situations.
So I guess like out in a public place.
I guess if I had a fetish, it would be public sex.
I haven't done that, but I'd like to.
It's just something about it. It's just being
Like,
caught.
what do you mean by public?
Like, just not like, out in front of everybody to watch. Like, not putting on a
Okay,
show.
I just wanted to make sure.
Like, but in a very public area. So that you could be caught, quote unquote,
Right.
Like
A little
the
danger.
whole being caught fetish. Or like at work. I'm really weird about that. Like at work. Just thinking
I
about it.
stay too
was like,
busy at my
wow.
jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, but sometimes it's just like, this would be a really good place to fuck. But that's just me.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
That's my saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You do you.
Whatever floats your boat, even if it's fucking pee water sports.
Oh.
It's just whatever works for you.
I want to find out what everyone else's
I know.
secret
I was
ones
actually
are.
just thinking about that. So why don't like everyone listening to this episode, why don't you guys tweet me or Madison? You can tweet me at Mia Renee Cole. Madison at In a Sea of Dark Blue.
Yes, but you might want to look at the...
Yeah, there's no A in the dark, right?
Yes. It's like Dirk.
Dark Blue.
I don't remember why I couldn't put the
Why
A,
don't you
but
tweet us it's hipster, your responses, like what your kinks are, or let us know on Facebook, or Snapchat us. And
But don't Snapchat us while you're
don't
doing it.
Snapchat us the actual kinks. Yeah, let me clarify. Snapchat us a selfie or a picture of your computer as you're listening to the podcast. Anything that isn't nude people on my Snapchat, I'm okay with. And with like the caption of, my favorite kink is this, something like that. Speaking of, we do have the Snapchat project going on where people are sending me pictures, selfies of them listening to the episode. Whatever episode they're listening to. Just being like, hey, I'm listening to this, like I'm enjoying listening to it, or tell me where they're listening to it. Really cool. And I've gotten a good amount of responses and it's really neat.
Well, hey, why don't we Snapchat this right now?
Yeah, go for
Recording.
it. Let's go for it. I mean, I've done that a couple of times, but let's go ahead. I always forget to do it, so I just get in the moment with recording. So, alright, caption, talking about kinks on, it said links, I fucking hate autocorrect, on this week's...
Apple phones.
Yeah, you have an Android. It's okay, at least I can receive text messages. So apparently you and Mason are having some issues with that.
Yeah,
alright, that's going straight on my story, so...
Beautiful.
Shabam. At me, Renee Cole is my Snapchat.
And I think mine's MadPage97.
I think it is. Why would I know that? But it just sounds like it would be your Snapchat.
That's my everything.
I can add it.
Nation.
I can definitely add it down below.
Yes,
sounds
we'll
good.
put it in.
So did you want to talk any more about the DSM, or did you want to move on to this really neat other article you have about rare kinks? Because I'm really interested in hearing about that.
I think we should talk about the rare ones.
Yay!
There are, let's see, there are lots. So I'm just going to go through like the first top 10. Does that sound good? Because I think there are like 30.
And then we'll link the article in the show notes, and if anyone's interested in reading the rest of it, go for it.
Yes, and this is on Thought Catalog, and of course it was found on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
Ask
naturally.
Reddit. So,
naturally.
Of course. Oh, there are 32 altogether. I should have read the title.
Whatever. Who needs titles?
The number one is soft sweaters.
I love it. Like, what's this sweater made out of? Boyfriend material.
Angora mohair.
Okay.
Apparently.
So that's a kink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a material kink.
So that would be the material one, yes. I would think.
Okay, soft sweaters.
And they just said that they were immediately infatuated by these soft sweaters.
I usually just want to wear them. But
right?
if you want to make love to a sweater or to someone wearing a sweater,
or
to someone who is hairy enough so that you think they're wearing a sweater, go for it.
Oh, what a lovely soft sweater. Oh. That's not a sweater.
That's not a sweater. It's like 40-year-old virgin.
I didn't realize you had your shirt off.
Yeah. Oh, whoops.
The next one is titled Thank you, Nickelodeon. And then I read this, I was like, what in the world could this one be? They said that girls slimed, covered in mud, pied in the face, and generally messy.
That explains rednecks. So rednecks are using Reddit now. Nice to know.
Growing up with Nickelodeon was a strange and interesting experience.
Yeah, the
apparently.
slimings. Yeah. Okay, so seeing okay, I get that. Wet, like just girls being wet. There's like some kind of sexual attraction to
Well,
women
yeah,
being,
but slimed?
but they're like they have that wetness look to them, that dirtied up, slippery, lubricated look.
Okay. All right, yeah.
I guess that's why
All right.
chicks fight in spaghetti. Like I used to see that when I did a lot of roller
Oh,
derby. They would have fundraisers where the derby girls would wrestle in a kiddie pool of spaghetti with
why
sauce.
spaghetti?
I have no clue.
Why not like liquid chocolate? That would be much better, much
Liquid chocolate.
tastier.
I think it was more maybe a price thing for them
Oh,
because
okay.
they were fundraising. So liquid
What can we
chocolate,
make for
like
cheap?
a large fondue pot, like that'd be great. But I can barely afford to go out to eat at the melting pot, so I don't know about filling a kiddie swimming pool with that.
Right.
But spaghetti will work. All right, what's number 3?
It is titled "He Takes Sleeping Beauty to a Whole New Level."
Oh, boy.
Apparently,
This okay.
is into sleeping girls,
All right.
but never
Disney.
acted on it until his new girlfriend.
Okay. So, does this mean
Like,
they're having sex with them while they're asleep?
yeah, it says that she takes heavy-duty sleeping pills and
Oh.
lets him go to town.
So she does it willingly. His girlfriend
Yeah,
does. So she just wipes out and just lets him fuck her.
yeah.
Well, that's one form of passive sex that.
Well, I'm glad that she can be so understanding,
Yeah,
like,
I'm glad it's consensual because when I first heard that, I'm just like,
yeah.
oh.
I mean, he says that he never acted on it
Yeah. You
until this
always want to make
girl.
sure, even with your kinks, that they're always consensual with the other
Always.
partner.
Very
If
important.
the partner is not okay or not really enthusiastic, I wouldn't go for it. Because if they're not enthusiastic, they're borderline, you know? Like,
Right.
enthusiastic at least for you, like for you to try it with them.
Which I still don't understand the sleeping thing, because then you get nothing. I don't.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I guess, but I can,
Sacrifices, I guess.
like, if I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping. I'm fine with whatever. Okay, next.
Whatever you want to do. The next one is definitely very odd. They like to watch videos where doctors or and paramedics try to resuscitate
Oh.
fat men who are having heart attacks.
That is so great. That is so specific. What the fuck?
Uh, like, how do you even look those up?
Fat man. Is that just readily available on Pornhub or the internet or something?
I feel
Or
like that's probably more of a YouTube.
oh, well, I guess if
Easy
you can
access.
find babies being birthed on YouTube, you can find fat men being resuscitated from heart attacks.
Oh my gosh. The
That
next one is just
I don't get
Australian
it.
redheads, which,
Australian anything.
I mean, Australian anything. How can you go wrong?
Australians, I'll tell you this. Australians have a weird fascination with their asses. Like Australian men. When I was in Australia, I still had a Tinder, and like, not even joking, like I had this rule on Tinder that if the guy had a picture of a cat in his main photo, I always swiped right no matter what the guy looked like, right? That was my rule. And I got some weird guys because of that. But when I was in Australia, there were just as many guys posting pictures with their bare ass that I
Oh
made it
my
a rule.
gosh.
Like if their bare ass is in the picture, swipe right. And I thought of that
Really?
because it showed up on my time hop today. Because last year I swiped right on a guy with a bare ass in his picture and I posted it all over social media. But that was consent. Don't do that. But then again, if you're posting a bare picture of your ass on a social media website, just like be ready to face the consequences.
I
But
guess if you're confident.
they were very confident. A little too confident for me, if that makes sense.
Number 6 is
Yeah.
public nudity. And then this says
Okay.
whether or not it's non-sexual or
Yeah.
humiliation. Which I
Being
guess that's what they mean by public humiliation. They said that...
so just being nude in public, period. It sounds like,
Yeah.
regardless of the intention. All right.
Yeah, they just...
Yeah,
like,
that makes
almost
sense.
like flashing.
That's hot. Have you flashed anyone before in public?
I have not.
What?
I have not done that.
All right. Well, we'll just keep going then.
I know. Sad. How sad. I don't know.
No, it's fine. You're good.
Have you?
Yeah, you just make me feel so scandalous over here, but I'm not.
What? No.
Yeah.
When did you do that?
God, it was my junior year of high school. And I'd gone to a particular dance in the fall I'd been invited to go to by a guy. And I ended up, like, ditching him, but we're gonna, like, avoid that topic. And, I went out to eat with some friends afterward, one of which ended up being a longtime boyfriend of mine. But his best friend was with him. And we're going to block out that name.
Thank you for telling me, though.
Yeah. And I was with in her car. And we both just flashed. We made...
Oh my gosh, I bet you made his
close
night.
his eyes. And then I ended up dating him for like a year and a half. All right. So, yeah, I have flashed one and maybe two. I don't know if the other guy looked. People. Actually, I'm sure I flashed. I don't even know. That's the only time I really remember. I think it was. It was like the middle of the night. We were driving side by side along the road and just threw my dress down and bam. Now, since then, I have flashed a number of people. Because once you get your nipples pierced, it's just a whole different level. I'm just, who sees my tits? They're gone?
No, I love going without a bra now.
Yeah, I just ordered new rings, because God knows I need some. But I just ordered new ones.
I was looking at some today.
Right before getting on this call. That's low-key what delayed me a bit, because I was like trying to find some like ASAP. So I finally bought a good pair, which I think is going to do me well. What number are we on?
We are on, hang on, let me go back. 7.
All right, cool.
Okay, so this is another kind of in relation to the transvestite, I guess. This is a straight guy, but he fantasizes about being a woman.
Okay, so yeah, that sounds more like transvestism compared. Okay.
And he has a fiance.
But does he only fantasizes about it. He doesn't act on it.
Right. That's what I'm getting out of it.
Would that be almost the same as a woman wearing a strap-on?
I think I would compare it to that.
Especially with like a male partner. I just wonder.
I don't know. That he's not even the least bit feminine. And he has a fiance.
Okay, well, hopefully they can figure that out. If he's willing and she's willing, I mean, just, make his sex life cool and maybe help her explore some, so.
Well, I mean, he says that it's mainly just, like, lesbianism, so.
So he just needs to watch lesbian porn and be done with it, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Alright, so number 8.
This one loves women with MBAs, so.
Master in...
Yeah, Bachelor of Arts.
Oh, okay.
I think. I think that's what that stands for.
Yeah, isn't it? Maybe Master in...
Because you don't have...
Master and Bachelor... Master... Oh,
Master of Business Administration. We'll cut
that
last part out.
That makes sense. No, we're making... No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'll figure it out. We've had way too much. We've had to cut out of this damn episode. But,
An MBA is a Master of Business Administration.
So he likes his women powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. So he wants like a powerful businesswoman. That's going to be you one day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's me.
Well, you can hit this guy's 40-year-old man living in his mom's basement. Because let's be real here. Anyone that posts on Reddit, like, to the extent that these people do, probably.
Right. Um, this one likes really buff girls.
Like
Like
bodybuilders?
bodybuilder, yeah.
Okay.
Um, one of this, it says, uh, she's ripe like a watermelon and hip bones should make a good wood block. And her thighs
Okay.
should have just the right amount of tension.
So, all right.
That's very
Part
odd
of me wants to
combination.
say he should give men a try, but the other more politically correct, sexually open person, part of me says, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, see, works for
Whatever
everything.
works for you. And, there's plenty of, and not a lot of guys find bodybuilding women attractive, so this is good for the bodybuilding women. Not that they aren't attractive, but a lot of men just don't find an attraction to that body type. And a lot of women don't find men who bodybuild attractive either. But fortunately, there are plenty of both sex that bodybuild, so they can hop on each other. Or
Right.
have fetishes, which is cool too. Yeah, so I'm going to be interested to see what the other fetishes are for this article.
Oh yeah, there's 32, so.
Oh, nice. If you could send me another link, I think the one you had in the Google Doc was corrupted. It was saying page not found.
Yeah,
So
let
I
me.
don't want that to happen to the audience. And while you're doing that, I wanted to talk about this really cool app that I had a friend mention to me a couple weeks ago for me, and she recommended this app called Undercovers. It's all one word, but you can search it in two if you want. So it's like undercover, but like you're under the covers, like the sheets, Undercovers. And it's an app that you use with your partner to figure out which mutual kinks that you share and are willing to try. So the way it works is you open it up, and it has 6 different categories. You have, let's see, oh wait, hold up. I just re-downloaded it for the purpose of the show, and it's wanting to take me through a tutorial, so give me a second here. So we have 6 different categories, all of like, we have like a BDSM, we have like a threesome category, we have like a romantic kink category, stuff like that, and you fill out these questions. And so like, for instance, let's click on the BDSM category. And one of the questions is, he ties her to the bed to give her all of his attention. And say I really like that. So I really like that. I'm going to drag the heart to that, which means that I love it. Now the next one is she's a tease. She drives him wild by bringing him close to climax multiple times. Say I
Whoa.
don't like that. I don't like that. Just, that's hypothetical completely. I want everyone to know that. Completely hypothetical. But say I don't like that. I drag the X to the question. Then we have unsuspected. He surprises her and then leads her firmly but gently to the bedroom. Say I'm willing to talk about it. I'm not like for or against. I'm just willing to talk about it. I grab the little chat boxes to the bubble, to the question. And I know this makes no sense for listeners, but what I'm trying to get to is you have 3 options for every question that you answer. And there's a lot of questions. It'll take you about 10-15 minutes to fill out. You're able to say you either love it, you hate it, or you're willing to talk about it. And then what you do is you get a special code that you send your partner. And by the way, this app is only available on iPhone right now.
Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah,
find it. I was like, where's this
it's only
thing?
available on iPhone at the moment. It's a British app. And so you send the code to your partner. Now, does your partner, does he have a iPhone?
No.
Okay, so, because I had my friend who recommended this to me, her partner doesn't have an iPhone, but they were able to do it they were able to do it on her phone twice. She just had to delete the app the first time. Because you're given like a special code that you share as partners. And so you fill out the form, essentially, with either yes, no, or maybe to all the questions. And then you get your code, you send the code to your partner opens the app, and they start filling it out as well. And once they're done, your codes match up, and it'll tell you what you're mutual on. So if you X'd anything, say I X'd, here's one for role-playing, meet in a bar and pretend to be strangers. After heavy flirting, you have a one-night stand. Say I X'd that, but my partner hearted it. We wouldn't see that as a mutual at all. So we wouldn't it shows you all the question and scenarios, but it only shows you the ones that you either both hearted or you both put down as conversational. If only
Okay,
one of you
cool.
put it down as conversational, it's not going to show it as mutual. And if one of you put it down as absolutely not, it's not going to show it as mutual. So there's like no embarrassment from it. It's a way to start talking about it and figure out your kinks with your partner to make your sex life a little spicier, which I really like. And I know like my explanation was probably completely shit, but of how it goes down, but I think it's a great app to use to explore your sexuality with your partner, because especially if you're looking for something long term, you want to be making sure that sex is the best you can have.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is definitely
So check it
something
out.
that
It's
should be
called Undercovers. Yeah, it's going to be linked in
openly
the show notes.
discussed.
Hopefully it'll be on Android soon. I should probably email the creator and see about figuring some business shit out with them, since I mentioned them on the podcast, right? Since we're a business podcast, no. But yeah, that's it for today's show, essentially. Unless you wanted to say anything else, Madison.
No, I hope they enjoyed everything.
Episode 10. Can't believe we did it. Thank you for your help tonight. And with planning the episode, that's like the main
Oh,
bulk.
yeah.
I just need you to plan it. I was just like, there's no way that I'm like gonna want to plan
We were
this.
on vacation, so.
I was too busy actually having sex to plan it. So I guess my excuse is pretty valid. But we're going to get going tonight. All the articles that we talked about are listed below. Undercovers you can find in the iTunes App Store. You can find Madison and I on social media. Don't forget to Snapchat us with your favorite kinks. But don't show us what your actual favorite kink is. No
don't send us
sexual, no
that.
super pornographic pictures. Or Snapchat me specifically, a picture of you listening to the episode and where you're listening, just, for fun. All right. Well, good night, Madison.
Have a good night.
And everyone, stay sexy.